And there we go, everyone. We are back again for another fantastic conversation on Friday Night Counter Attack. And you guys have killed us this week. You've absolutely killed us because this week on Friday Night Counter Attack, it's Q&A week. And this is when you get the opportunity to ask us very important, very not so important, but very relevant questions. Some of these questions are outrageous, you guys. It's insane how much you listen to us, and some of you actually listen to what we speak about. Some of you have just been talking about some random things completely, but we're going to answer as many as we can today, which will be great fun indeed. We do have two very special co-hosts on today as well. So Travis, good to have you back on, my friend. Why don't you tell us a bit more about the jersey that you're wearing today, the shirt that you're wearing today, and why you're wearing it today, Travis?
Um, I've got a Barca shirt from, I believe, last season, but I'm sure Sarah will correct me if I'm wrong.
It's the shirt where Anthony scored the winning goal against Barcelona at Old Trafford. So I'm not sure why you chose that one specifically, Travis. That's crazy.
I chose this one specifically because it was the the cheapest shirt at the Nike discount shop I was at over the last week or so.
That's a good save. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Are you ready for this week's Q&A? And this, we don't do many Q&As anymore, but this one's going to be a fun one. Are you ready for your first ever Q&A on this podcast, Travis?
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it, to be fair.
It should be good fun. And maybe we've got someone who could answer us as to why that Barcelona kit isn't one of the better kits to remember. Or is it, Sarah? Welcome, Sarah, to the podcast again. Is that one of your favorite away Barcelona kits that you've seen in recent years, Sarah, from Nike?
It's not actually. I was in Barcelona last summer and I remember picking the jersey up. And I was telling Travis just before we started recording that there's actually an imprinted map of Barcelona on it, which I think is a really cool idea. But I think it was just the color for me. Like I didn't love it. It wasn't anything, super special. So I didn't end up getting it. But can't fault Travis for getting a jersey at a good price because we know these things are way too expensive right now.
And if anyone is out there with a football shirt brand, football shirt shop that want to sponsor our podcast for discounted prices, you know where we are, you know our DMs are, and you know how to negotiate with us as well, which is great fun. But just so everyone's listening, for those who aren't following us on social media, our social media followers, our supporters, our fans, our friends have been sending in amazing clips and amazing reasons as to why we do our podcast. So that should be coming out at the end of the year, and hopefully it'll be good fun to edit all back and learn from them. So hopefully that will be good fun to watch from people's reactions of what they like about our podcast, which is good fun. But they've also been sending in questions over the past week or so. So we're going to go through as many questions as possible. Some of these questions are quite tricky. Some of these questions are quite good. And some of these, I think we've discussed before the recording, we're going to have to reword them in a way, just so we can understand them all better and it works for the three of us as well. But without further ado, here is the Q&A podcast from Friday Night Counter Attack on this side of the season, which will be good fun. And I'm going to start off with a really bad one. Travis, I'm going to come... Well, everyone gets to answer these questions, but there'll be some specifically that I have to ask both of you as well. Travis, I've been asked by a follower, by a supporter of the podcast, to ask you specifically, without Googling, how many goals did Gareth Bale score for you in that 2013 season before he moved to Real Madrid? Do you know off the top of your head?
In all competitions or in the Premier League?
In all competitions.
I think I'd preferred you to ask me the Premier League question. I think he got 21 in the Premier League. All competitions. The last season Bale was at Spurs. I don't think we were in Europe.
Ooh, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that, John?
I can't remember. I think I was 12, to be fair, when Bale played his last season. Actually, sorry, the season before you moved to Real Madrid. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I was going to say I'm going to get tied up in the word in the question there because technically his last season at Tottenham was only a couple of years ago, wasn't it? But last one before Real Madrid's different. Yeah, I think he scored 21 in the Prem.
Are you Googling this?
Where's your genuinely hands? Not my hands. Yeah.
Hands up.
Hands behind my head. Yeah. I'm gonna guess 32.
He actually scored 26 goals in all competitions.
Did he? Yeah. I went too high.
Nah,
give him too much credit there.
It's true, which is really good. And Sarah, I've been asked to ask you a question as well, regarding Neymar at Barcelona.
Oh, never. It's already going to be.
It's the same question. What was Neymar's highest goal scoring tally for Barcelona?
in 1 year in all
in one season in all competitions. Yeah.
You know what? I don't even have a notion. I'll be really honest. I'm not a stats girl. I never have been. Like, I hate when people just have these calculated numbers in their head. Sometimes it's really great for knowledge, but it's not something I've been very keen on. So this is really going to be tricky for me. I'm gonna say 22.
24. You're off by 2.
Okay, you know, I'm not mad. I'm not mad considering that was an absolute shot in the dark.
You were closer than me, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Do you know how many were in La Liga and how many were in like the Copa?
Yeah, so overall it was like split between. I think it was like 19 in. No, there's 22 in La Liga. I think there's 2 in the Copa, and I think in that's And it's crazy to see how it just happened with there as well, with Neymar as well. But yeah, there was a question for me, but there's no point because I googled the answer and I'm not going to cheat. So it is what it is. It was how many goals has Ruud van Nistelrooy scored for Man United in his whole career. So 150 goals and 220 appearances or something like that for Man United. But we're going into a fun one because there are a lot of Premier League related questions, but I am going to relate it to Sarah and to La Liga as well, being as Sarah is a big La Liga expert. And we need the expertise for La Liga as well, which is great fun. But we're going to start off with a very funny one to begin with. Start, bench, sell. People have been sending loads of these in, so I'm picking some of the funniest ones to use. Jordi Alba, Marcelo, Ashley Cole. Travis, take us away. Jordi Alba, Marcelo, Ashley Cole, start, bench, sell. Let's hear it, my friend.
I feel like this one's quite easy, to be fair.
How?
You don't do it, Travis.
You're the one wearing the Barcelona kit as well.
Yeah,
so extra bad with
I'm gonna upset Sarah here, definitely, but I think
it's Jordi Alba, it seems.
It's quite obviously sell Jordi Alba, bench Marcelo, start Ashley Cole, surely.
Agree or disagree, Sarah? Where are we going with this one?
I'm going the exact opposite. I'm going probably start Jordi Alba, bench Marcelo. That one's really tight. And no, I'm sorry. Like,
you're starting Jordi Alba over Ashley Cole. Serious?
You're in a Barca shirt and this is getting clipped and I'm loving it. I'm loving this.
I mean, listen, for me, I think Jordi Alba is one of the most underrated left backs there have ever been. I also think Marcelo is a bit underrated because both of them were so crucial, not only to defend, but the creativity they both had. They both had the ability to those cross balls. And Jordi Alba and Messi's connection when they played, Hamza and I have spoken about this before, but it was
an underrated duo because Messi was on the right and in the middle. Yeah. Alba was on the left predominantly, but Messi still had that connection to find those outside passes to Jordi Alba on the wing, who was hugging the touchline all the time as well.
But it's the same thing with Marcelo. Like, when Marcelo was in his prime at Madrid, so many of Madrid's chances were coming from that left flank with Marcelo crossing it to the far post and, you know, whomever may be there heading it in. Like, it's really, I don't know. I think these are things that we overlook as football fans. I feel like are so much more difficult than they might appear. It looks easy when you're watching it on television, but then to actually realize what they're doing, it's incredible.
I mean, when you're watching Marcos Alonso these days, you can see the depth and quality from Jordi Alba in his prime to Marcos Alonso now as well. So especially after what happened recently with Marcos Alonso, I'm not a big fan of him, like we spoke about recently. But Travis, let's hear your thoughts. Come on now. Let's hear your thoughts in terms of why you've gone for that version of start bench style for you personally. And why are you selling Jordi Alba?
For me,
whilst you're wearing a Barcelona shirt.
I know, it's ironic, isn't it?
That's for me.
For me, I think if you're doing a start bench sell of left backs, if Ashley Cole is in there, he's automatically starting. For me, he's the best left back of all time. I think he's
ahead of Marcelo.
Yes. Yeah,
ahead
absolutely.
of Roberto Carlos as well, who's not in this one.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
That's just
ahead of Paolo Maldini, who's also not in this as well.
I think, you know.
Is he your favorite or is he the best? Let's hear it.
No, I think Ashley Cole was the best. I think he was. I think the way that. Yeah, I do. I genuinely do. I think Ashley Cole was the best left back that I've ever watched. Anyway, I just think he was brilliant. He's just so good at everything. And I take your point about Marcelo and about Jordi Alba. Totally agree. But Ashley Cole was just different gravy, man. He's absolutely. I think if Ashley Cole didn't have the reputation that he had, you know, the off-field issues and the sleeping around and stuff, I think he would be revered, absolutely revered. If he was the kind of character that, say, you know, I don't know, a Harry Kane or
or a
I don't
Marcelo.
know. Anyone who's a consummate professional, if he had that kind of personality, he'd be revered as one of the best English players ever, I would say.
He probably still is, but secretly he's not being shouted about quite a lot in the media, respectively, as well. But yeah, for variety, I think I'll start Marcelo, I'll bench Ashley Cole, and I'll sell Jordi Alba with this one as well. Actually, because of Ashley Cole's off-field antics, we spoke about this recently. It's about what I want, not what's actually right. So I may have to bench Jordi Alba and sell Ashley Cole because of his off-field antics. Not a fan. I remember Marcelo just won the Copa Libertadores at the age of 37 or 38 years of age.
Really shout out those congrats to Marcelo and Fluminense because, 37 years old, impeccable.
Starting a 120-minute game as well, which is insane to see what he's done in his career as well. Ashley Cole was at LA Galaxy, if I remember correctly, around that age as well. So the longevity is there with Marcelo and Jordi Alba. Where is he now, Sarah? Who's he playing with now?
Into Miami.
It's going to say Miami, isn't he? Yeah.
And who's he playing with now?
Well, Lionel Messi.
It's Lionel Messi. Ivan Rakitic might be joining them soon. That could be fun.
Luis Suarez? Anyone?
Oh, the band could be getting back together as well. 2015.
Honestly, it's a dream. It's a dream. It's like I've been taken back 10 years, and I'm like,
we have to get tickets to Inter Miami games. I need to go back again, which would be good fun. But that was a really good one to start off with, which is quite fun indeed. Next question. This is actually for everyone as well. If you could buy one player to improve your current team, who would it be and why? I like this one because with Man United, you can improve everywhere on the pitch at all times because they're quite bad actually.
Now, are we going realistic or are we going dream?
Let's go realistic. Realistic because
so dream, not like Bellingham because he's obviously never going to sign for Tottenham.
You can't pick Erling Haaland for Tottenham, basically.
Yeah, okay.
It won't happen. Sorry, you go first with Barcelona. Where would you want to improve one position? And if you do want to pick a loan player and make them a permanent player, I don't mind it at all. I'll be showing a bit of creativity as well.
I think I'd have to go with a striker.
To replace Lewandowski or to challenge Lewandowski?
I'd say replace Lewandowski. If you've been watching him lately, he's
hasn't really scored in the last 10.
Yeah, you know what? Like you really notice his age is catching up, and that's fair. Like he's had a wonderful career, nothing against him, but his time is slowly coming to an end. Also, like not a bad sub, 75th minute, Lewandowski comes in. I don't hate that, but we need a new striker as a starter because I mean, Barca's midfield when they're fit is still immaculate. Defense, there's some holes, but also when they're fit, it's usually pretty sound. And I mean, if we're looking at strikers, I mean, Erling Haaland has to be one, but for some reason, I just can't picture him at Barca. Like, he's not a Barcelona player at all. I think I would nearly take Harry Kane.
Wow.
I know, isn't that weird? The thing is, Haaland he's incredible. And I mean, like, listen, if he was coming to Barca, I'd be happy about it. Get in here. But there's just something that I'm kind of like, I just don't see him as a Barcelona player. Like, Barcelona players are very tactical. They're like little technicians. Haaland isn't really bad. He's more of like this machine.
Kane fits that profile so well, doesn't he? As a Barca forward.
I think Kane is much more, he could fit into the system much better. And also, if we're talking about professional players, I mean, he's really, like you guys just said, like he's one of them. And we see what he's done at Bayern, going in and just absolutely killing it. So why not do that in La Liga? So yeah, I think I'd say Kane, which is so bizarre. An English player. We don't have many of those.
It's been a while since I've seen an English player in Barcelona as well. Travis. Surely there's been one before that.
There must have been one since, surely. It's just the first one that came to mind.
Yeah. Has there been a British player that's played for Barcelona recently in your lifetime, that you'd say, Sarah?
Not that I can remember.
Yeah, there's got to be one. We'll have to do our research in a bit. Go on, Travis. If you could improve Spurs with one player, realistic player, who would it be and why?
If you asked me probably 2 months ago, I would have said we need a striker desperately. But since Son has moved to playing in the middle, 8 Premier League goals in 8 Premier League games since, we don't need a striker anymore. He's clearly very, very good at playing through the middle, so we can live with that. What we need now is a left winger to improve the starting 11 because Richarlison just is not that guy. I like Brennan Johnson. I really like Brennan Johnson. I think the very little that I've seen of him in a Tottenham shirt so far looks good. He got injured in the North London derby, didn't play. And that was his first game, I think. Didn't play for a couple of weeks while he was recovering from injury. He came in against Chelsea and played but only for half an hour until Romero got sent off, and then he got subbed off, he got sacrificed. So left wing would still be my priority. I think I would go for Pedro Neto if I'm looking at a player who we would realistically buy. I think if you look at the way he's started this Premier League season, I think 7 assists already this season.
Top after a really long injury as well.
Exactly, yeah. Top assist maker in the Premier League this season, which is nuts considering he's playing for a fairly average Wolves team. I just think he would add exactly what we need. He's kind of the opposite to Kulusevski on the right-hand side, but I think that's a good thing, having a variation of ways that you can attack the opposition, and they can even kind of swap sides to make different problems for the different fullbacks if needs be. I just think Neto would be a great choice for us. I think he's been really unlucky, to be fair, because he's had a couple of really bad injuries, and it's taken him a little bit of a while to build back up to his top level after the injuries. We're just now seeing that again at the start of this season, and he's pulled up in his last game against Sheffield United. I think he came off injured in that game. So, maybe another long-term injury for him, but hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Man United, I'd go for a new centre-back, someone who I think could actually stick around for a good number of years at Manchester United, who could play for the badge, and I believe he would be someone who could stay fully fit, because our main defenders, Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, are always injured, unfortunately. So if I'm going for a realistic signing, I'm going to have to go... not for Eric Dyer. I'm going to go for Ronald Araujo.
I knew Barcelona. It was coming. I knew he's not coming. You can't have him. I was waiting.
I'd love him. I'd love Araujo at Man United. He's a perfect profile of striker. Eric Ten Hag would love to work with him as well. But again, it's a dream signing, so it's a dream, but it's a realistic as well. The dream signing personally would be someone like Federico Chiesa as a right winger, because we've been lacking as a right winger for years now. So rather Chiesa as a right winger or Araujo for centre back as well. But
do you not think that's realistic, Chiesa?
I don't, because we never buy well from Juventus, do we? Like Pogba, a lot of money we got rinsed for and didn't really turn out as well as we wanted. Ronaldo as well, lasted a season and a half, didn't really turn out well. But with all the wingers that we have, we'd have to sell at least 2 or 3 of them to get the big money and to pay Chiesa's wages and to pay for his transfer fee as well, respectively. If not, we'd go for someone who we could develop, I would say. But yeah, Chiesa or Araujo for me personally. Travis, you'll like this question. Name a player from a rival team you secretly love to watch. From a rival team.
Okay.
Go on, Travis. You go ahead with this one.
And
you've spoken a lot about Arsenal recently as well, so I'm looking forward to your answer with this one.
Yeah, I'm not going to say any Arsenal players. I don't think. By
the way, you can't pick someone like Fulham or Brentford. It has to be from an actual rival as well.
Yeah, it's got to be Arsenal or Chelsea, hasn't it? Realistically, I think I'm writing Arsenal off completely. I think if I'm being brutally honest, I think their team is probably, maybe other than Man United, is the most unlikable squad in the Premier League at the minute. I think
even Declan Rice.
I just think they've got a load of horrible characters. Like even very recently at the weekend, they played Newcastle, and the Newcastle captain on the day, Jamal Lascelles, has come out and said that after the game, Jorginho, the Arsenal captain, refused to shake his hand just because they lost to a subjective VAR decision where technically they didn't do anything wrong, because it is dubious, like you say. But what happened was the referee on the field has made a decision that it's a goal. They can't see enough evidence to overturn it. And the idea behind VAR is it's clear and obvious errors. So whether you agree with whether the goal should have stood or not, there's not enough clear evidence to overrule it. Getting completely off topic, and I realise, but yeah, there's not one Arsenal player that I really look at and I like at the minute. I think Saka's probably the most likeable, but he's rubbed me up the wrong way recently when we played them at the Emirates, because he scored and did the Maddison celebration. Like, what are you doing that for? Just absolutely no need whatsoever. And then you didn't even win the game either. Just ridiculous. To answer your question, though, I would say Madueke at Chelsea. He doesn't play very often, but when he does, I'm a big, big fan. Very direct, very quick. He's just a classic winger, and I love seeing a classic winger. See a lot of it from Doku at the minute at Man City, and that's the kind of winger that I like. So yeah, Madueke, I'd say.
Nicely done. Sarah, unfortunately, you're going to have to go for rather Espanyol or Real Madrid. So where are we going with this one?
Really quickly, I just want to give a list of Arsenal players that I really like. Bukayo Saka, Eddie Nketiah, Odegaard, William Saliba, Aaron Ramsdale, Zinchenko. They all seem lovely to me. A little bit of, back and forth on the pitch. I agree not shaking hands, but I didn't say Jorginho. But I actually think Arsenal are a really likable squad, but I'm not a Spurs fan. Just leaving it up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't worry, Travis will be talking about Jude Bellingham in a bit in a Barcelona shirt, so that might rub you up the wrong way as well.
Well, okay, so naturally, I guess this season the answer would be Jude Bellingham. I'm not going to pick him only because I think it's a bit too easy, because we all love watching Jude this season. He's absolutely immense. I think I'll go with of late at Real Madrid. I mean, years ago it was different, but Federico Valverde. I've always enjoyed watching him. He's an absolute baller. Watching him at Real Madrid, and of course Uruguay, you can't, he has the sauce, I guess is the best way to say it, and he's just he's so fun to watch.
Nah, it's been really good, and the fact that he gets to play in more of a free role now because Bellingham's playing as a number 10, it's allowed him to be a more box to box and a winger at the same time, which is crazy to see. And Ancelotti's been very good at profiling Valverde and Bellingham in the same team. The starting 11 is looking scary for Real Madrid, even with Jude Bellingham, his shoulder's injured now at the moment, which is crazy to see.
Braga, though, I think they can.
I think they'll survive. They'll survive, I think. A home game against Braga as well, which is going to be good fun. My favourite rival player to watch secretly, I mean, I don't see... Oh, no, the term is you secretly love to watch. So if I have to secretly love to watch a player, then I can't admit it. I've already admitted it. I've already said I love Erling Haaland. I love De Bruyne. It's going to have to be a Liverpool player then, because I do like watching... to be honest with you, he hasn't really hit the heights that I wanted to see him as of yet. But if I was to go for someone, Dominic Szoboszlai for Liverpool, I think it's fantastic. I think it's an absolute joy, and Jurgen Klopp's done really well, because at RB Leipzig, he was playing as a winger in that 4-4-2-2-2 formation for Marco Rose and RB Leipzig. So he's playing as a left winger or a right winger. Now he's playing as a centre midfielder, as an advanced midfielder, and it's absolutely killing it right now for Liverpool. And he's a fantastic player to watch. And big shout out to Dominic Szoboszlai. And I wish Man United, like I do with all these players, signed him as opposed to some other players that we shouldn't have signed instead. Now we've got the easy questions out the way. Now we've got one or two that's actually quite difficult. Oh, sorry, you're starting with this one. Life on the line. Who takes a last-minute free kick to save your life, and why?
Are you kidding? Lionel Messi, obviously. I think Messi has been able to get better over time, which is weird because he's 36.
36 now, yeah.
Yeah, is it? Oh, it's coming to an end soon. It just makes me so sad.
Do you know what? It's funny. No, it's funny because when you said, you could Lionel Messi, in my mind, it was that free kick of when Messi scored the free kick and he just went like that. I was like, I can imagine Messi doing that to save people's lives. Like, yep, scored another one.
Yeah, fine. That's the thing though. He's gotten almost better with his technique. I guess something like a free kick though isn't necessarily too much based on physical form, right? Like cardio and that. Like you can still do it. Like you still have that touch as you get older. We've seen Beckham, playing around on the pitch. He's still got the touch. So I mean, he's able to maintain it. And yeah, I mean, it was that free kick goal that he played with Inter Miami in his first match. MLS, like, what are we doing here? Comes on, scores, wins the game for them in the final minute. Like, it's just like under pressure, Messi it's never going to let him get to him. And I think he's just proven that time and time and time again. And no matter how much further you go, like from the box, he still somehow gets it in the back of the net. It curves, it goes up and down, it completely avoids the wall. I'd feel confident with taking Leo Messi.
Yeah, it'd make it into the top bins all the time as well from both sides. It'd be incredible with the talent that we had as well. I'm going to have a bit of fun with this one. I'm going Roberto Carlos for this one. I could have gone for David Beckham, but I think if I went for Roberto Carlos, just seeing him run up, maybe go for the outside of the foot shot for a last-minute free kick, I think that would be incredible. And there was a time when David Beckham was lining up a free kick for Real Madrid and Roberto Carlos just ran in quickly and snuck it and he scored. And he took even David Beckham by surprise. So if I have to go for someone for this one, got David Beckham, got Janine, got a lot of good free kick takers. But I think Roberto Carlos, just for the fun aspect of it as well, just seeing him run up, it'd be like a proper Hollywood-style feeling if Roberto Carlos comes and scores a last-minute free kick and you're just like, yeah, that's cold from Roberto Carlos. And he was an amazing free kick taker as well. Travis, where are we going for a last-minute free kick taker? And don't go to Spurs for this one. I beg you, don't go for Spurs. If you go for a Spurs player, I'll be insulted for this one.
Mate, we've not had a good free kick taker in years. Absolutely years.
Been a while.
We had Ericsson, who was decent for the first kind of couple of years that he was there. But the last few years that Eriksen was at Spurs, we all thought he was good at free kicks because he was at the start, but he didn't actually score one for about 5 years before he left. So
it's because Harry Kane took over the shooting duties. Harry Kane and Eric Dyer took over from first choice, which is an odd thing for me. Because Eric
only
Dyer's,
when Eriksen left.
Yeah, in a way, because Eric Dyer also took free kicks as well, so that was a strange one seeing that happen. But he scored for England in the Euros one time. But yeah, where are we going with this one, Travis?
Dimitri Payet, I would say.
Oh, Marseille player, still killing it at Marseille. He's got an amazing goal recently and did amazing at West Ham in that season and a half he was there as well. Nicely done.
I mean, he was only there for 18 months, wasn't he, at West Ham? But the catalogue of free kick goals that he has just from his West Ham days, just crazy. The one that springs to mind is, I think, against Crystal Palace. There's about 7 players in the wall, and he still puts it into the opposite top corner. It's just
goalkeeper side, he did that, which was incredible.
Exactly. He was just magic. I think the variety of, I would have said Messi, but for variation, I think the variety of
Messi saving Sarah's life. We have to go for someone else now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, for the variation. Yeah,
Payet will definitely just come out. He'll come out of south of France. Will save your life. And like, yeah, I'm going back now, which is great. But Dimitri Payet is a definite streets will never forget player as well. And this is where this next question leads us to. Name a player who suffered from injuries who you wish succeeded. So I'm guessing it means they succeeded in their career or injuries got the better of them and they didn't really have the career they kind of thought they would. I'll start with this one. I'm a big fan of seeing how some of these players could have gone further with injuries. But if I'm going to be brutally honest, I think I'm going to have to say, it's going to pain me to say it, but it's going to sound odd when I say it. Ronaldo. I think the original Ronaldo, if he never had that knee injury, out for 2 years with an injury, he still would have been revered as one of the greatest number 9s, if not already, of all time. Because when injuries hamper a special talent like that, we've seen that with Eden Hazard recently, we've seen it in Neymar recently as well. When players aren't protected by referees, by officials, it's really disheartening. And when you're seeing someone's knee turn, when you're watching a game live, it's excruciating to see. But when you're seeing it for a talented player, a bit of your mind just wanders in terms of what if they didn't get injured, what if this didn't happen, what if that didn't happen. But my point of view is Ronaldo Nazario. I reckon if he didn't have those 2 years out, he still would have been one of the greatest players, maybe even had a couple more Ballon d'Ors to his name as well, in my opinion as well. But I think that's the biggest what if for me. If Ronaldo stayed fully fit throughout his career, how amazing would Ronaldo Nazario be? Yeah, that's my one. Travis, where are you going with this one?
Great shout, to be fair, Hams. There's a couple that come to mind.
That's why I'm wearing yellow, but the wrong badge, but people can't see the badge, which is fine.
I think I would say Ledley King.
Okay.
Everyone that you talk to that played with him, they all say the same thing, that he was the best player that they played with. And if he'd have stayed fully fit, he would have been, England's best centre-half and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I just think, he's such a Tottenham legend anyway. I just think for us to have had a player that good, that genuinely never would have left the club as well. He said this several times. He had offers to go, abroad to bigger clubs in the Premier League, and he turned them all down. I think to have a player of that quality be consistently fit, it would have been just amazing for the club. So yeah, I think Ledley King would be the one for me.
Sarah, where are we going with this one? Because there's a few big Barcelona players that you can talk about, but also some Spanish players as well. So I'm wondering what avenue you're going to go down for this one, Sarah.
Anytime, I think injury-prone player, it has to be Neymar, because I think with Neymar, I mean, naturally he played for Barcelona, so there's a connection there for sure, but Neymar was going to be the best player in the world. Neymar was going to be, after Ronaldo and Messi, it was Neymar. Like, you saw the way this kid was playing, and it was incredible. Like, he had that Brazilian touch that was like we hadn't seen, since Ronaldinho's era. It had been years. And I mean, there were a few things, his mentality for sure, it affected it. I mean, him going to PSG was so silly, but he's just picked up injury after injury, and that back injury he got
in the World Cup
against Colombia, like that one was just like that one. Those ones that make you feel a bit sick when you're watching, because like you're thinking the back, like that could have been so much worse actually. So he's lucky that he can walk, really. But yeah, I just think he could have had. I think he could have had a few Ballon d'Ors at this point if he maintained his health. Maybe if he didn't go to PSG as well, but could have done, maybe he could have won a World Cup, maybe with Brazil, a Copa America, another Copa America rather. So I don't know. I just think there was so much potential, and he's at the point now where I don't think we're going to see it. I mean, he's already moved to Saudi. He's injured again.
for a long time as well. Again,
yeah, he might not even play in the Copa America in 2024. So I mean, it's looking bad, and I think it's a waste of a footballing career, truly.
Yeah, it's true. And that's a really good question as well by whoever sent this in, which is great. Shout out by you. But literally, it's the fact that the way I see it with Neymar, especially, it's the fact that Gareth Bale's retired. You've seen Luis Suarez go abroad away from Europe as well. You see Messi go to the USA, and you see Ronaldo go to Saudi Arabia. If Messi, Neymar, Suarez continued before Neymar left for PSG, and he was there for a couple more seasons, again playing second fiddle to Lionel Messi, like everyone does in a way. Mbappe's learned that the hard way as well, especially after yesterday at PSG. He would have had at least one Ballon d'Or by now. He would at least be considered as a Barcelona great, an all-time legend as well. And it would have been scary to have seen how Barcelona would have maintained such promise with these amazing players and not having to overspend, like we said before, Sarah, on these £100 million players and Philippe Coutinho, Ousmane Dembele. Didn't work out for a lot of these players, but because they had one right in their hands, and it just didn't really work out for both parties, unfortunately. More so Neymar than Barcelona, because they had Lionel Messi and they had replacements coming through, and they still won trophies. But again, since that Champions League final in 2015, you thought the world was the oyster for MSN, and it unfortunately wasn't the case. But yeah, really good question, that one. Oh, this is a good one. All-time AC Milan or all-time Inter Milan? Who wins? Oh, that's tricky. Everyone would just think AC Milan because of the legends they have, but Inter Milan do have a couple good ballers in there as well, which is good fun. To go out on a limb, I definitely think all-time AC Milan are stronger than Inter Milan, but I don't know. Inter Milan have some amazing strikers and amazing coaches as well with this one. Travis, where are we going with this one? What are you thinking? All-time AC Milan or all-time Inter Milan? Who wins this game?
I'm going to go Inter just because of the Jose factor. I think Jose at Inter with that team, he would, if you gave prime Jose the Inter team that he had then, not even an all-time Inter team, the team that he had and won the Champions League with, I think he would find a way to beat a all-time AC Milan team, even with his own team that he had at the time. He would just find a way, because that's essentially how he won 2 Champions Leagues early in his career. So I'm going Inter just for that Jose factor.
Agree or disagree, Sarah?
Oh, I'm struggling with this one. I think that's actually a really good shout, Travis. Like, he's one of those coaches that he always does find a way, and whether it's good football or it's not, he knows exactly what points to press on another team and how to frustrate them and where their weaknesses are. And if that means parking the bus for 85 minutes, he's gonna do it. So, I mean, it's really like, I might have to back you on that.
It's like prime Ancelotti and prime AC Milan in around 2007, because 2005 they're the best team, but they never won against Liverpool.
The only like AC Milan though, with Ronaldinho, like that era was filth. Like, it was, and him alone. I mean, it just pulls me to that. Like, they had just such incredible players, playmakers, defenders, like so well-rounded. So I'm honestly, it's a toss-up for me. Like, we're never really gonna know this answer, but it's one of those ones where, like, I think it could go either way. Is that a bit of a cop-out? I think it is.
No, I don't mind it. But let's say, for example, it's a penalty shootout. It's gone to 2-2, Champions League final, all time between these two. Who's winning this one?
Oh, AC Milan, I think.
Penalty shootout, you're saying?
Yeah, so if we are talking about Pirlo taking a shootout, Ronaldinho, if you're going to throw him in there.
Yeah, I think penalties, I think you've got to say AC Milan. Like you say, Pirlo, Ronaldinho, Beckham, another one.
Because that was Jose Mourinho's weakness last season for Roma in the Europa Conference final for Roma as well, which was, no, Europa League final, sorry, I should say, for Roma. The penalty shootouts was his kryptonite, really, in a cup final where he could have won it in 120 minutes, but it just wasn't the case, unfortunately.
Sevilla feasts on it.
Yeah, literally. So I saw that video again today of Anthony Taylor getting abused by Roma fans. I'm like, that's a weird thing for me to randomly see on Instagram, but it is what it is. I think it's because, like, one of the Rugby World Cup final referees got abused for a red card as well. So it's tough to be an official these days, which is crazy. Argument's sake, I'm going to go for AC Milan, all-time AC Milan. I think they would be incredible against this all-time Inter Milan side as well. And I think we've seen some amazing players from both teams in Milan, respectively, which is good fun. Whew, I like that one. Now we've got one to talk about. Oh, this one's a bit of a long one, actually, but I'm gonna split this up. Someone's asked, Hamza, name the top 3 players in the top leagues in Europe. But because we've got 3 of us, we'll do 3 leagues between us. I think that'll be fair. Sarah, you do La Liga. Travis, you do the Bundesliga, Travis. And I'll do Serie A. And then all of us will do the Premier League as well, which will be good fun. So, Sarah, best 3 players right now in La Liga, or I should say for this season in La Liga. Who are you going for and why?
Right now, today.
Right now, yeah.
Griezmann, Bellingham, and Takefusa Kubo.
Oh, I like it. That's a good variety.
In that order?
Nah.
They didn't ask for an order.
Kubo number 1. If we're gonna show variety, Kubo number 1 as well, which would be great.
Listen, there's also been there's so many Lamine Yamal has been amazing at Barca. Gavi's been great this season, but I think
when Pedri gets on form as well, he's outstanding as a player.
For it, yes, I can't, but I think just Griezmann looks like he's got his groove back, and it makes me really happy because he wasn't really great at Barcelona, but he's such a likable guy. I was really upset that didn't really mesh well, but he seems to have his groove back. He was one of the best players at the World Cup, if not the best for France, maybe after Mbappe. And I just think at his age too, he's still killing it. I mean, the game yesterday against Celtic, he absolutely violated Celtic. It was just nuts.
It was very funny seeing former England goalkeeper Joe Hart all over the place yesterday. And he was
I saw a clip actually from one of the goals they scored where he tries to save the shot from behind the goal line.
He was in the goal and he's trying to push it out, and you're like,
embarrassing. It's so bad.
You were once England's number 1 goalkeeper. Yeah, he was once England's number 1 goalkeeper, shouting out a ball goal in Brazil. Give me the effing ball, give me the effing ball, give me the effing ball against Italy. And we've upgraded from him ever since then. So it's quite nice to see Joe Hart get his just desserts, I'd say, at Celtic.
Have we upgraded from him? Do you think
England,
our Ranger keepers are better than prime Joe Hart?
Yes, of course.
I don't.
Jordan Pickford's
really
better.
Don't.
Jordan Pickford's better than Joe Hart. Aaron Ramsdale's better than Joe Hart.
Better than Joe Hart now, but in his prime, seriously.
100%. I'd back myself on that.
I think that's really rude to Joe Hart, I would say.
No, because Joe Hart had no competition in that day and age. He really didn't have... Who was the second choice keeper for Joe Hart in 2016?
Green?
Yeah, Rob Green. Remember Rob Green conceding against Marseille?
Yeah, I take your point on he didn't have any competition at national level, but you can't take away from what he did at Man City. For those few years before Pep came in, he was unbelievable.
He was a really good shot stopper, don't get me wrong, but
better than Pickford. Come on.
I'd have Pickford.
Joe Hart, not better than Pickford.
I'd have prime Pickford over prime Joe Hart.
There's no such thing as prime Pickford.
There is. If you watch him in an England shirt, that's the best version of Jordan Pickford.
To be fair, in an England shirt, he's very, very good.
Have you forgotten Colombia in 2018? That penalty shootout?
You've got to remember, though, as well, Joe Hart played in, excuse my language, crap England teams. Really, really bad England teams.
It was starts from the defence. Let's hear it.
Yeah, and the defence was
Iceland.
Awful. The defence of Joe Hart was awful.
The
Glenn
Wales
Johnson,
free kick
man.
as well.
Come on.
Gareth Bale, that free kick against Wales. Come on, he should be saving that. Come on now. Look how far it was out. Joe Hart was a media darling.
That's one incident, though. That's one incident.
Joe Hart was a media darling because there's no other competition around him. That's all I'm saying with that one. Young Sam Johnston was like competition for him as well. And that was in the England side. But yeah, agree to disagree on this one and we'll move on. But yeah, Travis, top 3 Bundesliga players for you. Where are we going with this one?
Number 1, Harry Kane, easily, of course.
Ooh.
The other ones are really difficult because I think at the moment...
Are you just going buying for this one?
That's what I'm going to say. We have to be different teams.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go buying, no. But I think it's difficult because I think at the minute in Bundesliga, you've got Harry Kane who's here, and then a level below him, you've got, probably 5 or 6 players who are very, very, very good, but just nowhere near Kane's level. I'm going to say Florian Wirtz as well in that top 3. Obviously, yeah, we're a big fan of him on this podcast, aren't we? The other one I'm going to say is Joshua Kimmich. Actually,
I just think
not necessarily this season, but
no, that's what they are
this season.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this season, Xavi Simons then easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm liking that one. This one's tricky for me because I've got Serie A. But some of these players, they're not all about it this season so far. So I'm going to go the best way possible. I can't say... Can I say Victor Osimhen even though he's in and out on the side? Can I say him? If it was on paper, I'd say him, but I can't say him just now because he's in and out the side. It's not looking great for him at Napoli, and he could potentially move in January. So for variety, I'm going to leave Osimhen to the side. He's got an asterisk next to his name, I'd say. Federico Chiesa. Everyone knows how much I love Federico Chiesa, and he's done really well in this Agnelli system as well. I don't get Allegri system. Sorry, I don't get why they're playing a 3-5-2 and Federico Chiesa is a striker, but he's still doing really well up front. Second player, I'm going to have to go for Rafael Leao, fantastic winger, someone who brings a lot of enjoyment and entertainment to Serie A. And we've spoken about him glowingly recently as well. And the fact that I think he needs to start doing that for his national team with a certain CR7 on his way out and potentially out to retirement soon as well. He needs to become the next poster boy of Portuguese football and not I show speed because of his live stream videos that he does all the time. So yeah, not a fan of that one. Travis is a fan. You can see him gleaming as well, aren't you, Travis? You watch speed streams, don't you, Travis?
I don't watch his streams, no, but I see the clips and he's very funny, to be fair.
What, funny because he mispronounces names? I don't like that.
I cannot stand.
I don't know. I don't know. There's something I like about him. I think he's just.
How did he get an invite to the Ballon d'Or? And how did Sarah not get an invite to the Ballon d'Or, but Speed did? Answer me that, Travis.
He's cracked the code, hasn't he? To be fair, I think he's just so popular at the moment that I still don't get why he was invited to the Ballon d'Or ceremony. It makes no sense to me. But yeah, it's a weird one.
An odd one with that one as well. And I think for argument's sake, I'm going to have to throw in a bit of a throwback one, but I'm going to go for Paulo Dybala at Roma. I do like Paulo Dybala quite a lot as well.
No Lautaro.
No Lautaro. Lautaro.
12 goals. He's got twice as many goals as anyone else in the league.
I've only done two. I've only done two because I left it.
Now you did Dybala and you did Chiesa.
Yeah, I did Chiesa as well. Sorry, I forgot about that because I was going to go to Inter Milan. I was going to go Barella for my third one, so I thought I did three. Right, so now I've got to do it again. Okay, Barella's in there.
Oh my God.
But now I can't. I don't know how I can do it. Yeah, okay. If I'm doing it for this season, like with the
we're
question
doing it right now today.
Right now today, 2023, we're doing it. Okay, so I'm going to put my bias aside. Sorry, Rafael Leao, you're out of this one. Lautaro Martinez is staying in, Barella's staying in, and Chiesa's staying in this one. I could go bias and leave out Barella for Leao. But nah, this is a good question though. Lautaro Martinez, Barella, and Chiesa. Final answer.
I think you gave yourself the toughest one there.
I'm glad I did though. I'm glad I did because they asked for everyone to suggest it, but that would have been like a whole podcast long topic and debate. But there's still so many players to choose from. Ademola Lookman's doing really good for Atalanta as well. But Lazio who are doing pretty good with Daichi Kamada as well and Immobile. But
Lukaku, to be fair,
Lukaku scored recently.
Got a few goals, so
he's coming back into form as well. But he'll cut out and leave as he always does. I'm not a big fan of Lukaku, but it wasn't favourite, it was the best, so that's why I quite liked it. So now for the three of us, because it's the Premier League one, we all kind of get one pick each, and to pick mine out of the way, to be completely out of the way, Mohamed Salah, he has to be in the top three for me. I'm happy with Mohamed Salah.
I'll back it.
Should we just say, for the sake of making it more interesting, should we say Haaland's just, because he's way above everyone anyway, should we just say Haaland's he's not applicable, he doesn't count?
No, Haaland's in there. He's got to be in there. It defeats the purpose of the question. Top three, Haaland's got to be in there.
Well, then it's probably going to be
is where the third
Haaland and Salah.
No, because then you've got loads of Man City players who are excellent as well.
I could do the top three being just Man City players, guys, but we're trying to be diverse here. But
that's why Salah's definitely in. That's why Salah.
Son and Salah. I mean, I don't know. I think it has to be Son, Salah, and Haaland. As of right now, in 2 weeks, that could change.
In 2 weeks, that could change. You're right.
I think we're focusing too much on attackers here. So if you're giving me my own pick, I'm thinking pick a Tottenham player, but I'm not going to pick Son.
Are you picking James?
Nope.
You're picking.
You're going
back.
You're going Van der Ven, aren't you?
I'm going Mickey Van der Ven. He's been our best player this season, genuinely. So
I'm not posting this clip because the internet will come for you after that one, Travis. That's crazy.
If you watch Tottenham, he has been our best player this season.
He's been excellent, don't get me wrong, but no one's mentioned Rodri once this season.
I know he's got a red card. In my head, I have been mentioning Rodri. I will not sleep on him.
Do you know what the thing is as well? After
That's
Van
why
de
I was
Ven,
so adamant with the two Inter Milan players, because they've been excellent this season, but it's just difficult with this one. Sorry, Travis, carry on.
That's okay. I was just going to say, after Van de Ven, I still wouldn't say Son or Madison. I would say Vicario next.
Oh my
I
goodness
think
me.
Van de Ven and Vicario have been our two best players.
One sweeper keeper match, and he's all about
No. He was shaky against Brentford, but if we had anyone but Vicario in net for us this season, we'd have lost our first match way earlier than Monday.
We had Alisson. You think he'd lose? Crazy.
Well, not necessarily Alisson, but I think
if you had Hugo Lloris, basically.
Yeah, if we had Lloris or if we had Forster or whoever from last season, I think the way that he's transformed our back line, and because he's so comfortable on the ball, it gives us the basis and the foundation to play this Ange ball system that's getting so much credit at the moment. And I think, as football fans, I think we're too eager to say, oh, Son scored 8 goals this season, so he's in there. Don't get me wrong, he's been brilliant, but 3 of them were against Burnley, who are the worst team in the league. I just think it's too easy to pick the attacking players because they have the numbers to back it up. I think, obviously for me, it's easier to determine, at least for Tottenham, because obviously I watch them every game and I can see the difference that Van de Ven and Vicario have made compared to last season. But yeah, those two for me are our best players. So I'd say Van de Ven is my pick at the moment for this season anyway.
No Declan Rice in this list as well. There's quite a lot that we missed out on this one, but
no, there's so many though that you could say right now. Like I agree with Rodri, Declan Rice. I mean, Ruben Diaz and John Stones have been pretty good back there too for City.
Stones has been in and out with injury this season, but has come back into it like he's never been injured at all, which is what happens with Man City. It's insane, the talent that they have as well. Great question. That was a really good question. Next question we've got: who's the most underrated player in the Champions League this season? Oh, this is great. This is actually fantastic. Not because it's the Champions League that we're recording, but the 3 of us did a Champions League draft recently as well. And that went down quite well with a lot of people, because a lot of people were like, actually, those players were very, very good. They were very good teams. And
I'm gonna make sure you guys are picking.
For the record, unofficially, the person who got the best votes was Sarah. She won that one from our Instagram poll. Yeah, mostly because of Haaland and Bellingham. But is it Almiron, right mid? Didn't even start yesterday against Dortmund. I was second, by the way, and Travis came humbly third as well, because he should have picked Mbappe instead of...
Rigged.
Yeah, that was... That's
why. If you picked Mbappe, it may have been a different story, Travis, but it is what it is with this one as well. Underrated player. No. Sorry, you go first, because I'm sure you've got 1 or 2 on your mind that you think you could throw into this one.
Oh, I don't know. Underrated is tricky, because I think a lot of I was just looking at the list because I happen to have it here, but I think a lot of the players I chose are rated quite well. So I'm going to kind of go off. Okay. I'm probably missing so many people, but coming to my mind right now, and let's rep Canada a little bit. Steven Eustáquio has been absolutely fantastic for Porto in the group stage. They're in Barcelona's group. That's who came to my mind. That's who came immediately there. And he's not going to be highly rated, I reckon, by people in Europe as much, being Canadian. But he's a crucial piece to the side. He's, the pivot in the middle. He's creating everything. He's such a part of this Porto squad now. It's like nothing. And it's just kind of crazy that he's a Canadian. And it's like, he's like, the next Fonzie pretty much, in that sense of being, such a reliable player for such a big European side. Obviously Bayern much bigger than Porto, but yeah, I think that's a fair shout.
I think it's a fair shout, especially because Porto are looking to challenge for that second position as well in your group, and they look pretty good yesterday.
Knowing Barcelona, who knows, they might just take that first place spot, so we'll wait.
You've got a game against them soon as well at the Olympic Stadium as well in Barcelona, which will be a tricky game, I'd say, which will be pretty good. Travis, because I know you don't watch Champions League football this season, due to Spurs not being in it, I'll go for this one as well, and I'm gonna have to go.
That was a horrible drive-by.
It's been a while since there's been a driveway, so I have to throw it in there. Santiago Jimenez for Feyenoord. I'm going to go for the Mexican hitman who is doing really well in the Eredivisie this season, but Still not playing to his best of what we've seen in the Eredivisie for Feyenoord so far. He's underrated because I think he's going to be someone like Rasmus Højlund. After the next year or two, he'll be noticed by the world, or there'll be a big club that will come in for him. In terms of they will need someone like Santiago Jimenez. He's strong, his physique is right up there. He's getting quicker by the game from what I've seen from him as well, and scored already quite a lot of goals this season for Feyenoord in Eredivisie. And unfortunately, Travis, we learnt the hard way that Feyenoord were Dutch champions last season when we were in Madrid, when a random Dutch football influencer came up to us and his friend was like, "Oh, you're in an Ajax shirt. Feyenoord are the champions." I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool. It is what it is." He still didn't message me back on Instagram, so we'll leave that guy, and I'm not going to mention his name because he'll get a free shout out, even though he's got like hundreds of thousands of followers, but we don't need him anymore. But yeah, Santiago Jimenez is my underrated player in the Champions League this season. It was El Yawahi, but now everyone knows, well, not everyone, people who listen to us know about El Yawahi because he scored a pretty good goal against Arsenal in the Champions League earlier this season. Travis, where are we going with this one? And I hope you haven't Googled it. I'm looking at your glasses, by the way, to make sure that you're actually not on your phone or anything. If I see a green screen or something, just so I know if you've been Googling or not.
I've got to be honest, I'm really struggling here because I've genuinely, it's going to make me look really bad, but I've not watched a minute of Champions League football this season. I've just been kind of too busy in the evenings during the week. So, I don't really have an answer, to be honest with you.
Okay, from a Champions League team then. You know the teams are in the Champions League, so that could be something.
Yeah, pick a team and then we'll pick a player.
Just to go sort of from players that I personally
you were all up in Galatasaray a couple of weeks ago, Travis. Where's that energy gone?
Yeah, Davinson Sanchez.
Party now.
Who is the Turkish number 10 that you pronounce so eloquently well there, Travis?
What was his name? Aktakoglu? Was that his name?
Oh, I think you said it right as well, which is good to see. So,
from players who I don't think get as much credit as they probably deserve, I would say probably Alexander Isak. I know he's very highly rated. He's not necessarily underrated, but I think that
he's missed the last two games as well.
Yeah, I think he's just got so much quality, and I think people are underestimating the impact he's had on this Newcastle team and the way that they play when he's in the team.
Literally losing the last two games to Borussia Dortmund after trouncing PSG at home the previous game before as well. So it goes to show the difference in quality from Alexander Isak, Sweden, to Callum Wilson as well. So nice little plug there for my shirt and for Alexander Isak as well. Oh, this one's a good one. I don't know if we can do this one. Yeah, we can. Name a wonder kid to watch in 2024. So I'm guessing that's the player with probably a wonder kid actually who we should watch out for. Damn it, Santiago Jimenez would have been excellent for this one as well. Now it's got me thinking because the actual statement is, Hams, you talk about wonder kids all the time. Name a wonder kid in 2024 we should watch. Because one season I spoke about Rasmus Højlund and the next season he came to Man United. So my track record has to be good with this one. It has to be
this
good.
This is your field of expertise, really, isn't it?
It is the bread and butter of what I do on this podcast. And that's why I'm letting Sarah go first. No, I'm joking. If I'm going for someone first for this one to watch in 2024, we're going to go to RB Leipzig and we're going to talk about Benjamin Sesko. Because we've spoken about how RB Leipzig are incredible at developing talent. We spoke glowingly about Xavi Simons all season, and Lois Openda's been pretty good as a new signing. But Benjamin Sesko is on the cusp of starting for RB Leipzig. He's behind Timo Werner and Lois Openda in the starting positions at the moment for RB Leipzig. And with them already out of the German Cup, the Pokal Cup as well, which they won last season, he's going to have a lot less time to actually start games now. So it's now or never, I think, for Benjamin Sesko to overtake Timo Werner and become the main man for RB Leipzig. So I think in 2024, he's definitely got that down to a T. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Benjamin Sesko shines in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League, respectively. Sarah, where are we going with this one? And if you've got a La Liga one in mind, I'd love to hear it because obviously there's a few that have been sprouting up in La Liga this season, especially at Barcelona, which we have spoken about.
Well, it is a La Liga 2024 player on his way. We did speak about Riquelme at Atletico Madrid, which was a great shout, but I've already spoken about him with you guys and my top 5 Atleti Wonder Kids, or top 5 Wonder Kids in La Liga, rather.
That was it.
yesterday against Celtic, by the way. Of course, Lamine Yamal, best wonder kid this season. Naturally, my love is there. Vitor Roque, coming from Atletico Paranaense.
Oh my God.
Front, center forward, replacing the slow Lewandowski. With all of that service that we have, we just need someone to tap it in. He has 22 goals in the Brazilian league right now. He's coming in January, guys. The countdown is on. I'm really excited because Barcelona, this is what we talked about. This fits so well for this podcast today. They need a striker. They really do. And this guy's 18 years old.
It's a full circle moment. It's from what you were talking about earlier about replacing Lewandowski. And now you've gone literally full circle to Brazil. And it's crazy to see because we are at a point in Brazilian football development, if I can say it properly, where some of the players that are coming out of Brazil are not very good. And they're not of the ilk or the quality of what Brazilian players used to be in terms of having flair, having the audacity to take on a man, the audacity to consistently score. And realistically speaking, shine for a short time, but not a long time, but still shine very, very brightly. And we're now seeing players, and I am going to call them out, Anthony, Richarlison, not very good players at the moment in the Premier League, and they're not really dealing with the price tags that they're dealing with as well. So players like Vitor Roque and Endrick as well, coming into Real Madrid coming soon as well. That will be a very big test for them to see if they can build some hope for Brazilian football going forward as well, because especially when their rivals Argentina are now the World Cup winners and the Copa America coming next summer as well. Big change needed for Brazil and big challenge ahead for them as well. And very good shout there from you, Sarah, as well. Vitor Roque, really good. Travis, where are we going with this one?
Yeah, like I say, Wonder Kids are more your expertise, aren't they? So I'm going to stick to what I know here, and I'm going to look to Tottenham Hotspur because I do actually keep an eye on our kind of youth systems. And to be fair, our under 21s at the minute is a really exciting team.
Tell me it's who I want it to be.
I think I know who you're going to want me to say, which I think is Santiago, I'm guessing.
No. The striker, the Argentinian striker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Came off the bench.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of between under 21s and the senior team, to be fair.
But he can take out Richarlison. You can take out Richarlison. That's all I'm saying. I need Richarlison out of there. I need him to be a flop because this Veliz guy, he came with such big pedigree to Tottenham Hotspur as well. And the fact that he has that ability in him. I don't want him to be like a Lo Celso player or a Brian Hill player. I want him to actually do well and succeed because it's been a while since we've had a really good Argentinian striker in the Premier League bossing it year in, year out. It's been something that I kind of need in my life. I need a good Argentinian striker in the Premier League. And it's like with the Pirates of the Caribbean film when when Will Turner has to take on the Flying Dutchman because the Dutchman always needs a captain. The Premier League is always in love with an Argentinian striker or a South American striker that kill it year in, year out. We've had Carlos Tevez, we've had Aguero, we've had so many amazing ones going back in time, I should say. Veliz needs to be the next one, in my opinion. And remember, Spurs have had Ozzy Ardiles back in the day as well, so they've had the historic
Ricky Villa as well.
Ricky Villa as well. They've had the heritage from Argentinian players going forward, and that was before footballers from foreign countries.
Lamela.
No, don't you dare! I'm cutting that out from the podcast. How dare you pick Eric Lamela in this one? You say Fazio as well? No way. We're doing so well there, Travis.
No, we don't mention Fazio. We don't mention that guy.
Can I give a quick Champions League update?
Yeah, go for it.
Man, you are up 1-0. Shout Toms. Your boy Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah,
you scored this early. Like, you cannot be comfortable.
We can't be comfortable, and that's why I recorded at this time because I'm like, we never score in the first 30 minutes. So I thought I'd be fine. I'd be pretty good with this.
Sorry, I had to update you. I realized it was class 3, and I was like, oh no, I have to check the games.
Nah, it's all good. But it's Rasmus Højlund scoring back in Denmark as well, and he would have been my wonder kid to watch, but he was last season, and that turned out quite well because he ended up signing for Man United. I'm convinced Man United listened to Friday Night Counter-Attack because a lot of players I recommend, they end up scouting for as well, like 2-3 seasons down the line. So we're doing quite well in that one. And that was a really good question as well. So nicely done there, everyone as well, which is good fun. We've got two...
Player? Did we just interrupt you?
We did.
We just skipped past that one there.
We did, but I was happy with Veliz, but you mentioned Eric Lamela, so I was like, I'll edit that bit out. So we'll go one more time. Travis, who's your wonder kid to watch in 2024?
Yeah, like I say, we've got quite an exciting under 21s team at the minute. There's a few names that I could pick from, but the one that I'm going to go for, I think we could actually see come into the team very soon because of Romero's suspension, Van de Ven's injury, and the lack of centre-backs we have. And it's a guy called Alfie Dorrington. So he's the captain of our under-21s team, 18 years old. In the 2020 to 2021 season, he played a few games for our under-18s team while he was still at school. He was like 15, 16, playing for the Tottenham under-18s, which is crazy. He's been capped at under-15, under-17s level for England as well. So he's one that people who watch the Tottenham Academy teams are getting very, very excited about at the moment. If you watch the way he plays as well, he does fit the Ange system really well. He's calm under pressure. He's really good on the ball. His passing range is superb for a centre-back as well. So I think realistically, we've got one fit and available centre-back right now, and that's Eric Dyer. I think
play Emerson Royale there. He'll be fantastic.
I was going to say, we might see Emerson slot in like he did against Chelsea. We might see Højbjerg slot in like he did against Chelsea, but I would really, really love Ange to give someone like Alfie Dorrington or maybe Ashley Phillips a chance. But yeah, someone from the under-21s would be nice to see in the first team.
Nicely done. We've not really seen many Spurs Academy players come out the Academy and shine probably since Harry Kane, I would say. Harry Winks was a good alternative as well. But it's not the case, and hopefully we see more of that under Ange Postecoglou. Yeah, we've got 2 questions left, and then we've got well, if Sarah and Travis want to hand out any questions before we wrap up, I'm all ears, which will be good fun. So this one's another start bench sell, but it's a bit of an odd one. Who will have a better career, Højlund, Núñez, or Nicholas Jackson? Okay, let's market this in the start bench sell, because this is what we do, as we always do. So me being biased, I'm going to go for sell Nicholas Jackson, bench Darwin Núñez, start Rasmus Højlund. Darwin Núñez, I found fantastic to watch at Benfica, and he was someone who's playing as a number 9, a focal number 9, and it's just crazy seeing him more of a left winger as an inverted winger or a false 9 at times with Jurgen Klopp, but he is getting better by the weekend. That miss against Luton was embarrassing, but that goal against Bournemouth was very, very good. You've got to have the crazy with the not so good with Darwin Núñez, and Rasmus Højlund will fit into the side Manchester United, hopefully, when we get rid of a certain winger from the right-hand side who doesn't know how to cross, dribble, or pass the ball properly. So hopefully we can develop our team going forward with that one. But yeah, start bench sell Travis, Højlund, Núñez, and Nicholas Jackson, who scored a hat-trick against you on Monday. And I said, no, you said, Travis, the worst hat-trick in Premier League history. Do you still agree with that?
Absolutely, 100% stand by that. He's
said by like many people. That's like a common thing going around.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still think Dirk Kuyt against Man United was a worse hat trick because they were just tap-ins from like within the 6-yard box. But it was all Luis Suarez who did all the work, and Kuyt just tapped it in. So I'm gonna have to watch that Kuyt one again just to be on the safe side. But yeah, who are we going for, Travis? Højlund, Núñez, or Jackson?
I'm selling Nicholas Jackson. To be honest with you, he could have played like Messi, prime Messi this season. He would have gone into the sell column every day of the week anyway, just because of the way he celebrated the goals against Tottenham. They were against 9 men. They were both 2-on-1 with the goalkeeper. He hit the Sue. He hit the Rashford celebration. After the most Hall of Shame start to a Premier League season that a striker could have, he's instantly like the player that I hate most in world football right now, even more than Bruno Fernandes.
Get in. I love it. I love this game.
He's straight in the sell column, but not even sell, just release. I don't even want the money for him. Release him, tear up the contract. So yeah, Nico Jackson's gone. I'm going to say bench Højlund, start Núñez, I think. I like Højlund. I absolutely adore him from the way he plays. I think
I honestly think he'd be a killer in the Ange system as well. Honestly, I think he'd be fantastic for you guys.
I think maybe in a better environment, like at Tottenham at the minute, where the vibes are immaculate and everyone's happy and on board. Yeah, possibly. I think you're absolutely right. But the reason I say Núñez is I think, other than just the refinement of his abilities, he's got everything. He's quick. He's strong. When he wants to, he can finish. But I think when he refines his finishing and when he refines his first touch, he's going to be an absolute problem for the Premier League because he's a brilliant player.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are we going with this one, Sarah? Start bench sell Højlund, Nicholas Jackson, and Darwin Núñez.
I'm backing Travis on this one exactly. I think I could have said potentially before this weekend either way, Darwin Núñez is getting the start. I think I've seen the most out of him. I think he has the most potential out of all of them. And like you said, he was brilliant at Benfica. So that was never a doubt. Maybe before this weekend, bench Nicholas Jackson. Honestly, I completely agree. This was some of the worst football I've seen. It was celebrate, like the attitude with it too. The thing is I'm a bit like, even if you put that aside, like his footballing ability, it didn't look good. He could have done so much more.
I just realized that was the first time that I've seen Travis swear on WhatsApp as well. So that was a dark moment for Travis as well, which was crazy. Nicholas Jackson did that to you, Travis. I'm astounded by that.
What killed me, the worst bit, and I know I'm going on about it, so I will shut up soon. But the final kind of nail in the coffin was that third goal. It was just disgustingly bad. Like Vicario's trying to cover that squared pass to I think it was Mudryk, but I can't remember. And the way that Jackson goes round him is just it's with the least conviction that I've ever seen a striker have. He looked like Bambi on ice. He looked like a newborn deer trying to walk past the goalkeeper. It was just disgusting. I'm fed up.
It almost like it was like a mistake. Like
it's like he didn't mean to. He got to the goalkeeper and he was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he just kind of stumbled past him. Atrocious.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I'm not going to lie. So therefore we get rid of him and bench Højlund because there's been some promise there with him. Absolutely.
Promise needs to turn into results and hopefully we can start playing to his strengths now, which would be great to see. One more question from a lot of this, and then I've got one more I'd say before we wrap it up as well. So if you do have any more, I'm looking forward to it. So which era of football do you wish you watched football in with the way you watch football now? Ooh, I like this question, but honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. The football journey I've had as a football fan is perfectly fine. Because I wouldn't know anything better in terms of watching it through the 90s or the 80s, 70s. Quite happy with it now. What about you, Sarah? Would you change your footballing journey as a fan? Would you rather have gone earlier in your career or later in the future, maybe, where VAR has taken over everything?
Oh, no. I think it's quite difficult because I think we've lived in such an era of football, seeing maybe two of the best footballers ever. I mean, I think we're really gifted with that. I've also been able to see Barcelona win 2 trebles, the best Barcelona there's ever been, like the best maybe team of players ever.
And you watch Henrik Larsson play for Barcelona and win the Champions League against Arsenal. We can't forget the Swedish plug right now, Sarah. We definitely can't.
No, we can. I think, honestly, if I were to go back, it would potentially still be in my lifetime, but when I was younger as a kid, like in the early 2000s, just being able to maybe remember some of that more. Like, I think I remember like the talk of it, but I don't necessarily remember like the details of these teams. But we're talking about like Brazil and actually I would like to see France in 98 as well. Like that, Zizou's kind of start there, more of his peak maybe, I don't know. But
Zidane's career was his peak. He was amazing all of his career.
Right? But 2002 Brazil, Milan's team, the Galacticos, then like even that was kind of closer to the end there in 2004, like Ronaldinho and Eto'o and Thierry and at Barcelona. Like I think we've actually lived through a really good, generation of football. I just think I wish I remembered more when I was a kid because some of those players were immense.
Yeah, they're immense now. And even when you're seeing them now on social media, like yesterday, at the time of recording, Thierry Henry and David Beckham reunited in Milan for the AC Milan versus PSG game. And I'm just there thinking 2 icons of Premier League football and world football respectively as well, which goes to show how talented and how iconic they really were in the great game. And they retired at least 10 years ago for both of them respectively. Travis, what do you think? Do you reckon you could have lived in the 70s as a classic English football fan, being racially abusive to people? Or do you think it'd be more along the lines of, no, I'm quite fine with the way it is? I'm guessing that's what this person was thinking about, how you could watch football as like in the 1940s or something. What are you thinking, Travis?
When you guys won something.
Oh, another drive-by. What is it? I'm the one that normally gets the drive-bys. This is crazy. I'm liking this.
Well, I'm curious to see if either of you would say that, to say like, I've seen England win a World Cup.
I was going to say, to be fair, you're bang on. I was going to say, my first point was going to be that I'm really happy with the era of football that I've watched.
Because you're going to win the Premier League this season, Travis. That's how you fight back with it. I'm just going to do it.
I wouldn't go that far. But no, just because like Pochettino's Tottenham team just made me absolutely fall in love with football. And I think if we'd not had Pochettino at the time that we had him, it's sort of those formative teenage years for me while I was discovering, my interests and stuff. I don't think I would be half as into football as I am now. The only thing I probably would change it for, though, like Sarah mentioned, is the 60s. Because obviously we had the last time Tottenham won league title was in the 60s with I think Bill Nicholson at the time. He's kind of heralded as our greatest ever manager, and they're heralded as our greatest ever team.
You also won a European Cup in the 60s, I think, as well.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I should know really, but I don't. And then the other thing is, like Sarah mentioned, the World Cup for England. Obviously, having been able to see that in my lifetime would have been just unbelievable.
That's a good shout there. And a very good question as well, which is great to see. Just before we wrap up the podcast, Travis and Sarah, do you have any other questions you wanted to ask the rest of us before we wrap up?
The only question I had come to mind was more podcast related.
Okay.
Dream guest for the podcast.
Dream guest. It was a football journalist from Canada called Sarah Pararia, but that dream has become a reality.
Shameless
plug right there. My second dream was someone I actually used to work with once upon a time. He's a Spurs fan, but he's not too bad at football as well. His name's Travis, so yeah, not too bad there as well. Making you both blush is fine. Right, dream guest. If I had to have one person, one and done. If we do it like this, if it's just one and done, the only time we get to speak to him is on a podcast. Personally, for me, this is just more. It's more of a personal favorite. I'd go for Ruud van Nistelrooy as my dream guest. I go for him, and I go for Zlatan Ibrahimovic as a close second. Again, because of the Sweden shirt, I'm plugging it today. I don't know why I'm plugging it, but yeah, Ruud van Nistelrooy number one of my first footballing heroes, and I think because he has a very unique way of understanding football as a striker as well, which is good fun. Sarah, what about you? Dream guest?
I think there could be a lot, but one that actually comes to mind right away is Thierry Henry, because he's kind of become this coach / pundit.
Not a good coach, by the way, but an excellent pundit.
I know he is, but the thing is, when I hear him speak about football and when he's analyzing matches and talking about players, he has such a high football IQ. Like, he's so ahead of everyone else. Like, you can be an amazing footballer, but your football IQ isn't necessarily up to par. But when
Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard is happening. John Terry is happening.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Ashley Cole, another one. It's why English coaches don't do very well. Like, Gary O'Neill wasn't a very good football player. He didn't make an England cap for England, but is a very good coach and has showed that when Wolves beat Manchester City as well. So I really like the fact with Thierry Henry that we see his detail in his CBS show, but it's really annoying because you've got clowns like Micah Richards and Jamie Carragher next to him who aren't as well versed in football. And we need more of that in football punditry, in my opinion. People who actually know and talk about football in a great detail like Thierry Henry does as well, which is insane. But Thierry Henry, though, that's a really good one. He's literally my favorite enemy. Like the question we had before the recording, someone asked us before as well, what was your favorite moment from a moment you hated or something like that? We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, anything else on Thierry Henry, Sarah, before we ask Travis his favorite guest?
No, I think I'd learn a lot from him as well, honestly. Just listening to him speak, I'd be able to take in a lot. So I think it'd be a great experience.
Nicely done. Travis, where are we going with this one? Are we going to Spurs for this one?
No, actually, surprisingly. Before he joined this other London team, I would have said Pochettino.
Wow.
Primarily just so I could thank him for, give me some of the best moments I've had as a Tottenham fan. But he's dead to me.
Like losing 4-1 at home.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
It only happened recently. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it happened recently, but I'm still trying to forget it already.
No loyalty in football is crazy with Pochettino. I don't know how he got away with that. It's insane.
I would say, though... Go on, sorry.
No, it's like if Pep Guardiola went to Real Madrid, basically. That's how bad it would be. That's the way, for people who don't understand the link between Spurs and Chelsea. It's like literally Pep Guardiola going to manage Real Madrid and then Ancelotti going over to Barcelona. That would be crazy for me personally. Would you agree, Travis?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. You'd never see it happen.
Nah. But this happened with Chelsea. Shameless club indeed, as well. Sarah, any last resounding questions before we wrap up?
Yeah, it came to my mind. It's a bit of just a fun one. But if you guys could go back to watch any football match.
Oh, we've had this question before on the channel. I love it. I love this one.
Is it okay that I ask it still?
You can ask it. You can ask it by all means, because I want to know your thoughts as well from both of you.
Yeah. What match are you going to live?
Live. Go on, Travis. You go for this one.
Live it.
It's a really tough question.
It's the best question. It's the best question. It's brought a smile to my face because I said I'm gonna answer a different one this time because the last one I answered it. I'm gonna give another one because it's a question that you have so many moments you want to see live, you want to enjoy it live, you want to appreciate live, but it's difficult. It's crazy question. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, Travis. Go ahead.
I don't know how you're supposed to choose one match from the history of football. Just so difficult. I feel like I could be boring and say the '66 World Cup final.
It's still something you want to go to, so by all means.
Not even just because England won it, but you know the fashion in which they won it. I think
VAR was needed in '66.
Yeah, I think just because we could spend all night talking about it, I'm just going to wrap it up quickly and say '66 final.
Nicely done. Sarah, where are you going with this one? I bet you've been to quite a few big games as well, Sarah, being a Barcelona fan.
Yeah, I've seen Ronaldo got sent off in El Clasico.
Of all the ones to start with, you talk about a Real Madrid player getting sent off.
Well, because we lost that game, so that's what I have to
okay. Makes sense.
But I was lucky enough to see a Messi Ronaldo Clasico. That was still great, even though we lost. But for me, it has to be the remontada. Barcelona coming back against PSG. I was watching that with my dad actually at a restaurant. And I was nearly in tears. And the wave of emotion I went to just watching that on TV was nuts. But imagine being in Barcelona with all the fans and the wave of starting from so low and then thinking you've got it done. And then they score and just it would just be you might have a heart attack, to be honest. But I think that's the best comeback in all of world sport. I don't care what anyone says. That was insane. And I think being there just would, elevate the entire experience.
That was one of the greatest comebacks we've ever seen. If I had to go to any game in history to watch live in person, I don't know, because I've mentioned before. The last one I mentioned was the 2008 Champions League final in Moscow, Man United beating Chelsea on penalties. And then I could go down the route of Manchester United beating Bayern Munich, which was also an amazing comeback from scoring 2 goals in injury time with only 3 minutes added on, to win in normal time, not even in extra time, at the Nou Camp as well. To be in that stadium would be iconic because, again, the Nou Camp is famous for many things, but for a lot of people, it's famous for the 99 comeback for Manchester United. That's not a dig at Barcelona or anything, but it's just the fact when you think of Barcelona 99, the first thing that for a lot of people comes to mind is Man United, Champions League final, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the comeback. So, if I have to be biased, I'd go for that one. From an objective point of view, it would be amazing, absolutely amazing to have gone to the World Cup in Brazil in 2014. It would have been a dream to have seen, for example, a goal like James Rodriguez score that amazing goal. David Luiz score a free kick for Brazil. The World Cup
not final. Their 7-1 loss, though.
The 7-1 loss is what I said the time before as well, because that would have been iconic. I love that game. I was laughing. I was like, this is what prime Mesut Ozil looks like. This is what prime Toni Kroos looks like. And I was loving it. But
I thought it was a bit much. In Brazil, I was like, oh, people are going to commit crimes tonight.
It was a mauling. It was crazy by Germany. But it's the fact that they just didn't learn their lesson on the day, Brazil. And so objectively speaking, World Cup 2014, Brazil. Personally speaking, Man United versus Bayern Munich 1999, which is good fun. Right, to wrap up this podcast, I don't know. I love this segment. There's so many good questions we could ask as well. There's still one more question I could ask, which I'm going to, for the sake of asking, for you as well. This is a question I ask normally when I'm in person, but if you had to spend a day with a footballer to play football, to train as a footballer, not as a podcast, just training with them, learning from them day to day, for a day, I should say, who would it be and why? That's a good question, though. I like that one. Travis, go first. If you had to train with a professional footballer of any generation, who would it be and why?
What's the goal? Is the goal to become a
No, it's
better
just
footballer, or is it just to have a fun day? Or
a fun day. Let's say, not to be rude, but let's say it's a Make-A-Wish day. Let's say we've won the lottery. We've won the lottery somehow. We're getting to go to any place in the world. We're not going to meet Tom Cruise. We're not going to meet John Cena or anything like that. We get to meet a footballer, but it means that we get to play football with them for an entire day, no strings attached, and we get to learn about their training routine, what they did in their career, yada yada yada. But not as a podcast, just when seeing them train and stuff. So excuse that crude topic of bringing out John Cena. I mean, you can't see me, but yeah. Travis, where are we going with this one?
I'd say Rafa van der Vaart, I think. If it's just a case of just having a fun day and just enjoying yourself, I'd say Van der Vaart. He's my favourite player that I've ever watched play football. And I would just really enjoy to, meet him and spend a few hours with him and stuff. That'd be really cool.
Excellent. Nicely done. Sarah, where are we going with this one?
Just so hard. I'm actually like, I don't know what to say. Do you know what? Like, of course, like if I were to even have a conversation with Messi, I'd be so fulfilled. But if we're trying to learn from them, I don't think I'd choose Messi, because Messi, what he does, you can't learn. Like, I think genuinely.
Would there be a language barrier as well, or not so much?
I know, because I can speak enough Spanish that I think it would be fine. But
okay.
it would be more so. Do you know what I mean? Messi's skills are not transferable. Like,
they're gifted.
They literally are. So who comes to mind after that is, well, there's two. Can I say two?
Go for it.
Sorry, I can't pick.
There's no rules on this one, so go for it by all means.
Andres Iniesta, because he's had a brilliant career, and I think he could teach you a few brilliant things with football. And Ronaldinho, because once again, he could teach you so much, but he would also be great to, like, he'd want to go to the pub after and like get a drink and have a good time. Like, you know, he's this like.
That might end badly though with Ronaldinho.
And then we go home. Goodbye.
More police charges incoming as well.
Yeah, you gotta learn when to
in Chile as well. Oh no, I can't be having that.
As I'm wearing the Colo Colo jersey. No, but you'd have a good time with Ronaldinho. You know what I mean? Like, you're on the pitch, you're kicking the ball around, he's just smiling, he's trying to teach you how to do anything. You can't do it, but no, he'd be brilliant as well. Like, he'd be, yeah.
Nah, that's excellent. That's a really good one. If I have to go for two, first one, David Beckham. I just want to see how he did it, man. How he made that free kick a trademark for years, and how he overcame such adversity as England captain, as a Man United star, as a Real Madrid star as well. I just love to see more from him going forward as well. That'd be amazing. And I think it'd be quite cool to, if you've seen the Netflix documentary, go back to his garden, play more football in his garden, which would be quite fun as well. Sponsored by Adidas. Again, another plug there as well, which is good fun. From an objective point of view, though, not a favorite one. I'm torn because there's so many you can choose and so many you can go through. But I'm gonna go for, you know what? I'm gonna go for him just for the sake of variety. I'm gonna go for Ricardo Kaká, because Kaká has also been one of my favorite players. Del Piero would be a strong third, but Ricardo Kaká would be my favorite to learn from as well. And I think with what these two players have done for the game of football, it would just be great to see what they've done and how they've maintained standards. And Kaká being a Ballon d'Or winner as well. Like you mentioned, Ronaldinho being a Ballon d'Or winner as well, which is great to see. So you learn so much from some of the greatest players the world has ever seen, really, which is great fun as well. And what's also been great fun is this podcast, because it's quite nice when our followers and our listeners get involved and really do enjoy and appreciate what you're offering to us as well this week. And some of the questions were outrageous, but thank you very much, everyone who submitted questions, and be sure to submit more when you next have a Q&A, which should be great fun. Again, I don't want this to end because it's great, but I'm gonna end it with a question that I asked last time, but I want your opinions on it. Your favorite Lionel Messi moment and your favorite Cristiano Ronaldo moment, and what will you miss most about Messi and Ronaldo when they're both retired? So Travis and Sarah, you've got these three questions, and that's how we'll wrap up the podcast. So Travis, you can go first on favorite Ronaldo Messi moment, and then Sarah, you can go on that one as well.
Favorite Ronaldo moment. First one that springs to mind is the overhead kick in Turin. That was just an unbelievable goal, and there's not many times where a player does something that makes the whole stadium give him a standing ovation. So Ronaldo moment, I'd say the overhead kick. Messi, I would say, even though it's very recent, watching him win the World Cup, I think
Vamos.
For me, he's the best player of all time. I love Ronaldo, but I think Messi was just better.
So not Van der Vaart then?
Not quite.
Not Mickey van der Ren, not yet. No.
But I think if we'd have seen him not win a World Cup, it would have been tragic. So I was really, really happy when Argentina won. In terms of what I'll miss most about them, I would say the way that they've forced each other to just get better and better and better. I don't think we'll see a football rivalry like it again, at least not in my lifetime anyway.
It could have happened with Joe Hart if England had a good second keeper, Travis, but it wasn't the case, unfortunately. It could have been Joe Hart versus someone else. But...
You're abusing me today. You're absolutely abusing me.
Joe Hart got abused yesterday against Atletico Madrid, so I had to throw it out there, man. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but it is a funny game, that Atletico Madrid one. Sorry, continue what you're saying.
No, that's pretty much it, to be fair. Yeah, just the standards that they've set, and they've made it so difficult for any other player in their generation to get anywhere near as much admiration or as much praise as they deserve. And there's players who probably should have 2 or 3 Ballon d'Ors to their name, but have never seen one because of just how good Messi and Ronaldo have been. It's just impossible to snatch the award off them.
The levels were insane. And Sarah, before we get on to your questions, is there anyone in the current generation you think can actually look to challenge with the Ballon d'Ors that Ronaldo and Messi have won in terms of numbers? Or do you think that's it for the time being and we've got to wait and see until someone else comes along further down the line?
Mbappe is probably the only one that comes close, maybe, but I do think he has to leave Paris, and there were reports coming out of Spain today that apparently Real Madrid are officially giving up on that.
Shock.
Yeah, so I don't know what the future holds for Mbappe, but as of right now, he's the only player that could come close, but he's still not going to be close enough to either of these two, for sure. But Travis took both of my actual answers. Like, who cannot say that goal, the overhead kick, for sure, Ronaldo, and absolutely Messi winning the World Cup was just such a full circle moment as such a diehard Messi fan. Like, it was just beautiful. But for conversation's sake, I'll choose 2 other ones. Ronaldo had a screamer against Villarreal. That was a great goal. I mean, La Liga, so I'll keep that there. Messi, there's hundreds, truly. One actually we just talked about recently, Hamza, was El Clasico, the 93rd minute winner, where he held up his shirt to
Bernabeu. Wow, what a moment.
That's who I am. I mean, iconic, really, it's iconic stuff. So I mean, that has to be one of the moments. But yeah, they both have so many. What I'll miss is I can't even talk. Like, I will start crying.
No, you've done this before recently as well on your own show.
I did.
I forgot about this one as well.
Albert, shout out to Albert. We were talking about it and I just started getting teary. But no, I mean, I think it's because we've watched them for most of our lives. So I think like just having 2 incredible athletes in the sport, 2 of the best. I agree with Travis, the best in our life. Like, it's been really, like, we're so fortunate. So I'm gonna miss watching that football because I don't think we are gonna see it again in our lifetime. I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's gonna be, and I mean that rivalry too, I don't think we won't see. It's historic. Like, it has divided people, it has brought people together, but one thing is that it's because we like love both of them so much and we're so lucky that we got to see them.
Because even now with the media looking to force the Mbappe versus Haaland rivalry as well, they're going to throw Vinicius Jr. in, Bellingham in, Musiala could hit the heights as well, respectively. But nothing will ever hit the heights of Ronaldo, Messi, circa 2007 to 2020, respectively, as well. Which goes to show 2023, I should say, respectively, as well. Which goes to show how long that rivalry actually did last, and it goes to show how talented these 2 players were, head and shoulders above the rest for so many years. And just like Travis said, and you said as well, Sarah, people should have won Ballon d'Ors with their individual seasons that they had, but they were nowhere near the elite levels of quality, the platinum level of quality footballers that we saw in Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, respectively, as well, which was great fun to see. And that concludes our Q&A podcast. We've done very well, everyone. Travis, thank you very much for your time. Sarah, thank you very much for your time. This was great fun. Everyone enjoy your evening. Sarah, when can we expect? Actually, no, I was going to say it. I'll say it now, actually. But Sarah, when can we expect Barcelona to get in Victor Roque? Was it in January, did you say, or summer, was it?
January.
It's January. That would be good fun. I'm going to have to learn a bit more about him and watch a few more of his games before talking about him, which is what I like to see as well. And Travis, if you're was it Dorrington, your centre back that's coming in? Is that his name?
Alfie Dorrington, yeah.
Dorrington, sorry. I'm going to have to look about him as well to learn a bit more about him before he comes into the team, which will be good fun. But everyone, thank you very much for your time. It's been a great pleasure to have this amazing Q&A podcast. And thanks for the questions, everyone who submitted them. Everyone enjoy your week. Take care. And we will see you later. Goodbye.